And good morning, both of you. Larry, Andy, how are you?
I think we're doing okay. We're all going through something we've never gone through before, and I will tell you, we're lucky we have Andy Sumrall in the athletic department, and right now he's got maybe the toughest job in the athletic department, but the good news is he's got a great customer service mindset. He's got a great staff, and we're going to get through this thing. But it is definitely something nobody ever dreamed up, right, Andy?
Oh, I cannot emphasize that enough, Larry and Robert. It's different. It's a lot different. Luckily, I'm a ticket nerd, I guess you can say. So it's it's been challenging, but it's been a good experience. So hopefully we can get as many people as we can in the stadium. And like Larry said, we're doing the best we can at it. It doesn't mean it's going to be everyone's favorite, but we're doing the best we can at it, and we will learn a lot in the next 2 days.
Well, Robert, I was going to
Uh,
say too. When we were kind of going through the pandemic and when it started, and then you get closer to football, you start thinking of all these different scenarios. But until you know what the scenario is going to be, you can't do a whole lot. And now we know that we're looking at 25%, which is devastating to our budget. I mean, we're going to take a hit just on tickets. I think somewhere in the 22 million range, 20 to 22 million dollar range to our budget. And keep in mind, we say it all the time: football drives the entire train for OSU athletics. And I think last year 77 million of our 85 million dollar budget stemmed from football. Well, we're taking a big hit right there. There's going to be some hits to TV probably to our deal with the Cowboy Sports Network and just what's happening with them trying to get out there and sell advertising. It's just everybody's being impacted. And I just got a check from a donor in Dallas to send a $10,000 check to the Cowboy Relief Fund. So we keep chipping it away at it there, but it's going to take a whole lot of $10,000 checks to make up for the lost revenue just when we talk about tickets.
well, I'm going to say this right now. I got a couple of things here, okay? I've been trying to decide how I'm going to do this, and I've decided how I'm going to do it. All right, first of all, Andy, make sure I didn't mess myself up on that. I clicked into the survey again after I read Mike Holder's letter, and I marked no, but make sure I didn't cancel opt myself out for tickets because I've got my family, my grandson, and Zach, who isn't going to have to coach games this year. They kind of want to do the father son thing, so I'm not sure I'll get tickets, but please make sure I'm not opted out. The other thing, and I've been talking about this with Larry, and here's what I've decided to do. My what I make this year to do sidelines on the Cowboy Network, I am donating that to the Cowboy Relief Fund.
That's
So
awesome,
I'll
Robert.
I'll do the
Very
sidelines
cool.
for free this year, and I'm just lucky they're going to let me. The Big 12 is going to let me on the sidelines. I got a 5 foot by 5 yard by 5 yard box I have to stay in, but hey, let's go with it. All right, let's
Well,
go with some
that's
questions.
Robert. That is awesome. First of all, that you're doing that, and you've talked about if you don't get in the stadium, you're going to donate your ticket purchase and all that. So I
That's
just
the other thing,
appreciate.
Andy.
Yep.
Andy, if I don't get tickets, if I'm one of the guys, we're one of the, then that just goes. I don't want a refund. So
You got it. And Robert, I just checked. You're good. You're in. So
okay,
you'll get your selection time this afternoon.
okay, cool. And let's just go right into that. For the folks who are going to be in, they'll get the email. Andy, tell them what their steps are now.
Yeah. So if you opted in, partially opted in, or if we haven't heard from you, we're considering you opted in. So you will receive an email by the end of today. Um, don't quote me on this afternoon, but we're going to try to get it out as early as we can. Um, you should have it by 5 o'clock today. That'll show your time of when you can log in and start looking at available seats and select your seats for the upcoming season. We're looking at those dates beginning Friday, going through next Wednesday. Um, we really don't anticipate that the Wednesday group will have tickets to choose from, but I think that's a good problem to have. It's not necessarily a great thing for everyone, but that we've had over 13,000 tickets requested and opted in, and we're looking at about right about a 10,000, 11,000 seat stadium for our fans to come into, not including the suites. So we're going to get everybody in that we can, and majority of seats you'll see are in blocks of 2s and 4s. There are several 6s as well, so we did go ahead and set a ticket limit, and I think Robert talked about this a little bit, was we're going to set the ticket limit at 6 per account, or what's in your account, whichever is less. And we're gonna have some fun over the next 5 days.
And Andy, talk a little bit about, I mean, we're talking social distancing in the stadium. I mean, first of all, I just want to say this. We all talked about during this crazy time how hungry we are for sports, how hungry we are for Cowboy football, how good we think this team's going to be. If we had to go with no fans, it's better than not having football. At least we're going to have 25% in there. Let's try to keep that perspective. I know if you're affected and don't get to come this year, it's going to hurt, but you're still going to get to watch the Cowboys on TV. We're still going to get to watch Chuba Hubbard, Tylan Wallace, Spencer Sanders, all those guys back on defense. So let's look at the positive and just hope that this is just a one-year deal, that we get some treatments and some vaccine out there to where we can get back to more of a normal life and we can get the entire OSU family together. But Andy, you want to talk just a little bit about the distancing and kind of how that's going to work?
Yeah, so everything that we've set up is at least 6 feet. Everyone's been in the stadium. It's not exactly perpendicular and everything like that, so that was a little challenging, but everything is going to be at least 6 feet apart in those seat blocks. So we have gone through and completely redone our seating in there, and only made available seats that have that social distancing around you. So,
Wow, what a challenge.
Yeah, and Andy, can you talk? I mean, I was going to start. I tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's do this systematically. Larry, I'm going to let you take the suites. Tell me what's going to happen up in the suites.
We feel like some of the things we're doing up there, obviously everybody's got to wear a mask. We're going to limit the number of people that can be on an elevator at one time. We feel like the suite level is about as safe a place as you can be. A lot of people are with their families anyway, or they're with people that they work closely with. So we're going to leave it up to the suite holders as far as how many people you have in your suite. And I talked to a couple yesterday. They're a little up there in age, and they realize that they're in the group that really needs to be careful on this, even though I'll say we all need to be careful to help out everyone. But they said, hey, we've got 28 seats in our suite. We're only gonna put 14 in there. So, if they wanted to put a couple more in there, they could, but they really want to stick at half. And so basically what it's going to be is you're going to come up the elevator with, I can't remember, Andy, if it's 4 or 6 on the elevator, but it's very limited. And you come up and go directly into your suite and, shut the door, and it's your experience that day. So that's the plan on the suite level.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Andy.
Larry, it is 4 if it's people you don't know, and it's 6
Okay.
if you're all together in a family. So you're exactly
That's
right.
Okay, that's cool. And of course, there will be a elevator operator. We've had that even in good times, so we'll definitely have elevator operators
Andy,
here in
talk
pandemic
about
times.
Somebody's just going to be there to push buttons and then step
Okay.
off. I
Yeah.
think that's the way it is.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. All right. Let's drop down to the club level, and I don't know. Probably both you guys want to discuss the club level.
I'll let Andy do it.
Yeah. So club level, a few changes up there this year. We are going to eliminate wristbands, as everybody has always received those when they get up on the club level. We are going to change that up a little bit and scan in and out, and that's just really for that safety of no contact, and that way nobody has to touch anybody, and we can scan their ticket and make sure they're valid to be in the club level, scan it out to get back out. After that, you go get your food. The difference there is you're still going to have your buffets, but it's going to be served to you as you walk up to the buffet line with plexiglass between our fans and the servers, and they will take that with them to their seats and go enjoy out in their seats when they get to the stadium into the game to eat. We're looking at about 27% that will be in the club level, give or take, just depending on numbers and blocks of seats that everybody needs. But it's gonna, we're gonna do as much similar as possible, but you're gonna notice a lot of differences once you get into the club as well.
All right, so 27% occupancy as opposed to what it's normally been on the club level. And we know how popular the club level's been at Oklahoma State, because that's where I keep telling my wife when I'm done doing games, we're moving to the club level. And hopefully the pandemic will end and maybe a slot or two will open up. All right, that's on a personal note. Now let's get into the bowl of the stadium. And you mentioned the 6 foot distances. This is something I heard early on, Andy. I heard the word pod. I guess you could call them pods or blocks.
Mm-hmm.
How have you divided that, and what are your biggest block areas, and what are your smaller? Obviously, your smaller block is one person.
Yeah, so we actually set them up where our biggest pod block, same thing like you said. Our biggest one that we have is 6, just so we can eliminate the extra seating and of people sitting next to somebody that they don't know, and we're trying to make it as safe as possible. So we felt like if the max is 6, then that's going to be our biggest pod that we have. And then, we've kind of taken it from there. Our smallest currently is 2, but that doesn't mean that we can't break that down. So you're exactly right. If someone has a single seat, we will definitely break that down for you so you can get a single seat as well. That's why I'm not really throwing out exact numbers of our capacity, because it's not going to be a static number. It's going to change throughout the entire seat selection process. So we will, we'll find out that final number once we sell out next week, and then we'll kind of go from there. But you're exactly right. Our biggest is 6. Our smallest right now is 2, but we will have some singles.
So everybody that opted out will have a chance to renew their season tickets for 22-23, correct?
21-22, yes.
Or 21-22. I'm sorry, 21-22. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, and then it's folks, if you're, because I know this was the number one complaint yesterday about not refunding based on the prorated games from 7 dropping down to 5. These guys, I mean, Larry was probably involved some. I mean, maybe Andy was involved some, but I think this was done at the athletic director level, and so I don't think it's fair for those guys to have to explain it, unless Larry, you want to say something.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind just throwing one thing out for people to think about. And what I've told our suite holders, because my team, Matt Grantham, Sean Taylor, and I, we work very closely with the suite holders. And what I've told them about a prorate is, let's keep in mind there's been years that we've had 8 home games. That's been rare, but it has happened. We've had 7 home games. We've had 6 home games. This is the first time that I can remember that we're only going to have 5. And, the ticket price normally doesn't change much. And so what we're asking is for everybody to just stick with us and understand the fact that your athletic department is hurting. I know that our loyal and true fans, they love all of our programs. And so I'm just asking you to have patience on that and understanding and know that, hey, there's going to be a time where we have many more home games. Just stick with us through this pandemic and try to not get too angry about the fact that we're not going to prorate based on the 2 games that we lost. I'm just glad we're having football. And so keep in mind, we've had different numbers of games. And I know that when you bought your tickets, you were looking at 7 games and it's gone down to 5, but it is completely out of our control. And we need that revenue to keep all of our student athletes having that championship level experience that we promised them when they came to Oklahoma State.
Well, and again, I think we're going to hear more and more stuff, not just at Oklahoma State, but across the board in college athletics, where this is going to be a shared experience of sacrifice. And that's why I've made my mind up. I'm going to sacrifice. This is important to me. I think it's important to probably most of us listen to this show. Otherwise, you wouldn't waste your time listening to me babble about Oklahoma State sports primarily. So, again,
can I say one thing?
Yeah.
We're all going to sacrifice up there. There's going to be, I'm certain there's going to be some kind of pay cut to every one of us, but also, we're not going to get staff tickets. Now, Andy's going to be working and I'm going to be working, but we're not getting our normal staff tickets. So our families can't go to the games. That's a benefit that we're losing. Besides the fact that because of budget concerns, we're looking at some major sacrifice around here for all of our employees.
All right. Hey, real quickly, because I want to try and help you out, Andy. When people get on, when they get their assigned time, and I'm assuming they're going to go on the website. What exactly? I mean, I know there'll be directions. Explain to them exactly what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, so you'll log into your account manager, and when you get your selection time, we're actually going to give you. We're asking you to go ahead and log in. Make sure you can get in and test everything out. As soon as you log in, you'll be able to actually go in right that second and see what the stadium is going to look like, with seats that are available. You won't be able to select right that second, but you will be able to go in and look at the available seats and kind of see what a socially distanced stadium looks like. I will tell everybody it is something that you would never have expected to see in a college setting and in a sports setting, but it is it is what it is, I guess you can say. But I would recommend every single person, when you get that email, try to log in and make sure you get into your account manager, take a look at the stadium, get familiar with it, and be ready to go. And then once your time comes, you have the option. You can call us, but I would highly recommend, again, using the online system. And the reason for that is we are staffed up, ready for phone calls, but at the same time, you'll get in and out a lot quicker if you go online. So
and you'll be able to visualize it too, right, Andy? And
yeah.
One thing that makes me a little bit nervous is the email. I think we all get inundated with extra emails and spam, and sometimes even for me, on my clutter or my spam file, things go in there. So I would encourage everyone to, if you haven't gotten an email by this evening, go look in your spam file, your clutter file, whatever, and just make sure that it didn't, get routed in there and you didn't get to see it in your inbox.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to mention this throughout, and I'm going to ask Patrick to forward that along, and I'll forward it along to Casey. You might do that as well, Larry, and at least we can do our part on Triple Play Sports and remind folks all day to check your email, and season ticket holders for football, check your email and look to make sure you get your assigned time. So we'll try and help out with that throughout the day.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy,
mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I understand how hard this is, and I know Larry made I got 2 things here real quick. Larry made a comment that Andy may be the hardest working guy in the Oklahoma State Athletic Department right now. I'm going to say there are 2. Because he's a good friend of mine, and I know how hard he's worked. I'm going to throw Doc Valjean Ivan in too.
Well, that's true. That's true.
He's
done a great job.
Yes, he has.
Getting control of this thing. And I'm knock on wood every time I say that. You and I were on the phone last night. We both knocked on wood because it's really gone well, and a lot of that's the leadership of Doc Ivan. You're exactly
No
right.
doubt. No doubt. Baljean has done a tremendous job, and we're lucky to have him and Andy. All right, guys. The other thing, Andy, you called yourself a ticket nerd. I have to ask this because I'm one of those guys that I keep press passes and I keep ticket stubs and I have boxes of them. My
Me
wife
too.
thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But have you had any complaints about the new um, mobile ticketing that people won't have their souvenir stubs? Did you get any complaints on that?
Yeah, we got some right off the bat, but
Did you? Okay.
it wasn't bad.
Okay.
I fully expected. And like I said, I'm a ticket nerd. I enjoy we call them pretty tickets, and when we get those in, we take them out of the box and we ooh and ah over them just in our office alone. So, and I'm not the one that paid for them, so I can only imagine how everybody else is. But I think everybody handled it really well. I think Larry hit it on the head earlier when everything is different for everybody right now. So I think our fans understand and get that this is unprecedented. It's a completely different time, and this is for 1 year. We will go back to printed tickets after this. We'll push for everybody to go to mobile, but we will be going back to printed tickets after this season, as long as everything picks back up the way they're supposed to be. But I think everyone really understands. We're doing as much as we can with what we have and the knowledge that we have right now.
All right. I said we'd get these questions quickly. Padded chairbacks. How's that going to work?
So if you have a season ticket and you select your seats, and you purchase those padded chairbacks, we will move those to your new location. One thing that I want everybody to be aware of, they will not be selling them at the gates this year. So if you do need a padded chairback, make sure you give our office a call once you select your seat, and we will add those padded chairbacks to your seats. They're $51 a piece for the season, and they'll be there when you arrive at every game.
And Robert, let me say one thing. He just mentioned, there's not going to be hardly anybody in their normal seats. Right. And I know, because I know how passionate our fans are, and when you've had seats for 20, 30, 40 years, I mean, that becomes your property. That's part of it. And I know it's going to be hard for people to not be sitting in their normal seats. But again, let's hope and pray that it's a 1-year deal where you're getting displaced, but you're still there. There's still Cowboys scoring touchdowns on the field. And even though you're in a different seat, just bear with it for this 1 year. And we're going to save your seat for next year. Andy's taking care of that. You're going to be back home in your location next year.
All right, guys, I got to get to a break, but I appreciate both you guys. I got some questions here that I can answer, but I wanted to tell you, we did have Arlington Cowboys said, tell those guys to keep up the great work. So I love it when somebody sends in something like that. So I wanted to pass that along to you. I appreciate you guys coming on, and good luck. Let's work on getting through it.
Robert, thank you, and thank you, Arlington Cowboy, and thank you all the loyal Cowboys out there for sticking with us. And let's get through this together. Let's hope for a championship season. We've got a championship caliber team. Let's just hope that things go well and we can get the entire season in. And if I can throw one more pitch out there just for the Cowboy Relief Fund, anything you can do helps, whether you're donating your tickets or whether you're sending in $100, or like the donors from Dallas that I said I got a $10,000 check from this morning. Anything helps. We need your help more than we've ever needed it. Nobody ever knew this kind of rainy day was coming. And so we're going to get through it, but we need the OSU family to help us. And as we said in the video we put out, every time there's tough times, we galvanize. So let's galvanize and get through this.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Keep it up.
Okay.